The moment my aunt opened the door, I knew. She didn't bother to fake a smile. "We don't want you here," she said flatly, arms crossed like a gate slammed shut. "Go ruin someone else's holiday." Inside, the house was glowing, warm lights draped along the ceiling, laughter spilling out from the dining room. My family, my blood. Plates stacked high, wine glasses clinking, familiar voices rising in celebration. I stood motionless on the porch, holding a bottle of wine and a pie I'd baked from scratch. I gave a single nod, message received. Then I turned and stepped into the cold. 10 minutes later, my father came barreling out the door, yelling my name like someone waking from a bad dream, but I was already gone. Just 3 years earlier, I was the golden niece. After my mum died, Aunt Carol told me I was like the daughter she never had, and I believed her. Every holiday, every Sunday dinner, I was there, cooking, cleaning, laughing at Uncle Ray's corny jokes while everyone else relaxed with full plates. When I landed a job at a non-profit and began freelancing, I offered to build a website for Carol's Catering for free. She was thrilled. "You've always been the smart one," she said, brushing my cheek with icy fingers. "You're going to make us all so proud." "I should have noticed the change when I asked about becoming a partner." She smiled, but her eyes stayed cold. "Let's talk about that in a year, sweetie." They had the conversation, just not with me. 6 months later, the business had a whole new look. Rebranded, sleek website, fresh logo, a new partner. Rachel, my cousin, her only credentials? A curated Instagram feed and a marketing certificate she printed at home. No one said a word, I found out on Facebook. Still, I stayed. I kept showing up, kept helping, hoping it was a misstep, not a message. But the message got louder. Calls went unanswered, invites stopped coming. Then came Grandma's 80th. I wasn't even told. Just stumbled across the photos online. Every smiling face accounted for, except mine. That's when it clicked. I wasn't being overlooked, I was being erased. The final cut came just before Christmas. I dropped off gingerbread cookies for Dad at his office. He hugged me, longer than usual. He's not a man of many words, but he said quietly, "Don't let them change you. Some people confuse kindness with weakness." I didn't understand until I saw the envelope in his desk drawer. Elegant, custom printed, gilded script, Carol's annual Christmas Eve dinner invitation, RSVP required. I never got one. That's when the sadness left and something sharper settled in. No more tears, no more hoping. I wasn't the girl begging for scraps of affection from people who only smiled when they needed a favor. I was done. Something changed in me. I became someone else. Pain has a way of sharpening you. You either break apart or you cut back, lean in, and strike. I started watching closely. Carol had no idea I still had admin access to the catering website. No clue I could see every new client inquiry, invoice, and venue booking. I tracked everything. Every Thursday night, like clockwork, she logged in from her iPad at exactly 9:37 p.m. Every Monday, Rachel blasted out press releases, plagiarized straight from a generic PR template site. I saved everything, quietly, carefully. Then I reached out to a few vendors I'd collaborated with in the past. Graphic designers, photographers. I said I was helping a friend figure out a rebranding issue. They confirmed it. Carol had stolen my work, my designs, my copy, my back-end structure, no credit, no permission. It was theft, clear, time-stamped, and undeniable. I had leverage now. Step 1. Cut the bloodline. I contacted their 3 biggest clients, a luxury hotel, a wedding venue, and a high-end retirement community. All had contracts built on materials I created, my site, my branding proposals. I didn't threaten, I informed. Calmly, legally, I let them know I never gave permission to use my intellectual property. I attached cease and desist letters. 2 cancelled immediately. Step 2. Let the panic set in. And I waited. Christmas Eve. I drove to their house at exactly 6:02 p.m., right as dinner would be starting. I just wanted to see. Carol opened the door, her face twisted like she'd seen a ghost. "We don't want you here," she hissed. "Go ruin someone else's holiday." I nodded. Understood. 10 minutes later, I sat in my car at the end of the block. That's when I saw my dad rush out of the house, coat half on, voice cracked with disbelief. He'd just seen the cease and desist I had quietly BCC'd to his law firm. The firm he co-founded 20 years ago, the one Carol conveniently forgot he still ran. He wasn't angry with me, he was furious with them. 1 week later, Carol was officially served. Intellectual property theft. Damages. Misrepresentation. Fraudulent use of creative assets. Breach of verbal agreement. My father filed the lawsuit himself. He didn't stop there. He pulled every dollar of financial support from their business, froze the joint account Grandma had set up for family ventures. Carol pleaded with him, desperate. It was just a misunderstanding, she sobbed during the hearing. His voice cut clean through. No, it was betrayal. Rachel tried to play innocent, claimed she thought everything had been approved, but I had receipts, literal ones. I'd printed out the Slack messages where she called me a dumb doormat. I didn't need to say a word. The silence was louder. In the end, they lost everything. The business, the house. And as it turns out, Carol had been siphoning money from the accounts too. Greed has a way of leaving a paper trail. I didn't smile when I saw the for sale sign planted in their lawn. I didn't have to. Real power doesn't gloat, it just exits quietly. That Christmas, it was just me and Dad. He made hot cocoa and told me he was proud of how I handled everything. That I reminded him of Mom, all fire and grace. I didn't say much, just let the warmth of the mug soak into my palms. There was a time I would have begged for their love, asked for answers, hoped for a seat at their table again. But that version of me died the night they shut the door in my face. Now I don't need their table. I built my own. And next Christmas, they'll be the ones outside, watching through the window, wishing they hadn't thrown me away.